And good morning. We've got some patches of mist and fog out there this morning, but there is a common theme to the weather throughout this week. It's going to stay mostly cloudy and dry, but there will be a bit of sunshine for some of us. John, Sally, thanks so much indeed. Yeah, it's a rather misty and murky start to the day. We've had some fog patches first thing this morning. As we go through this week, though, well, the forecast is fairly straightforward in that we've got a big area of high pressure.
We are going to see a big variety in our weather conditions from north to south. Across southern England, Wales and also the Midlands, a lot of low, thick cloud, thick enough even for an odd spit of drizzle to come through this afternoon. Looks like we've got the same cloud everywhere, but across the northern half of the UK, the cloud is much thinner. And actually, the top of the cloud is about 600 to 800 metres high. And that means over the Highlands of Scotland, the southern uplands, the Cumbrian Lake District, over the moors in the northeast of England and parts of Snowdonia as well, the high ground is actually sticking up through the cloud out into clear blue sunny skies. To go for a walk today, it'll be like it was yesterday, clear, blue and sunny. Once the sunshine's developed over the mountains, it can spread to areas nearby. So that's what we're going to be talking about, where they have cloud through this afternoon and the places will be lucky enough to brighten up with these clear, blue, sunny skies, Nina.
Bringing some very settled conditions, but I'm afraid it's not wall-to-wall sunshine. It's going to look a little bit like this for much of the week. Lots of cloud around. Had a little bit of a misty start first thing this morning, and that cloud continues to feed in, originating from the North Sea.
And weather-wise today, we've got quite a mixture of weather from north to south across the UK. On the face of it, it looks like we've got cloud for most areas, but there are some differences. The cloud across England and Wales thick enough to give some patches of drizzle in one or two areas through the afternoon. Whereas across the northern half of the UK, look at this satellite picture. You can see the high ground of Snowdonia, the Cumbrian Lake District, the southern uplands and the Highlands sticking out through the cloud. The cloud's maximum about 600 to 800 metres above the ground. And so go for a walk like yesterday into some of these higher mountain areas. You'll be out into clear blue sunny skies over the tops of the hills. Once the sunshine's come out through the hills, yes, it can spread to other areas.
Hello again, a very good evening to you. Hope you had a great start to the week. It's almost quite comic, this photo, isn't it? Those very sparse roses there, a bit like the sunshine at the moment. So as we go through this week, a lot of cloud around and a little on the dull side. Mostly dry, but there is a bit of drizzle, potentially overnight, maybe in the morning. So that's the only thing really to watch out for, and just getting a little cooler as the week goes on.
Not a lot of rain in our forecast for this week, but plenty of cloud. Multiple shades of grey across the UK today. For some, it was just a sheet of cloud. For others, some mist and fog, which lingered for a good part of the day across some central and southern parts of Scotland. You can see that fog lingering here on the satellite picture, particularly through some of the valleys. Only as we get to the weekend that we do start to see some outbreaks of rain pushing in from the west. A bit of uncertainty about the timing at this range, but we may just see some wet weather by Sunday.
Looks gorgeous behind you.
Well, colour-wise, yes, but the sky, not so much. It is quite a dull week, I'm afraid to say, but it's nice and quiet. It's nice and settled. There's not a huge amount for me to talk about today. We have got high pressure. It is in charge, but as we've seen today, it doesn't mean wall-to-wall sunshine. You can see coming around the outside, thick cloud. Now, it has been largely dry, although one or two spots of rain were around today, barely noticeable, but this was the scene, just grey everywhere. Small little glimpses of something brighter. We did have a few cracks in the cloud. You can see a little bit of blue bursting out there, but on the whole, it has been cloudy and it's going to stay cloudy as well.
Hello. There was a lot of cloud across the UK again on Monday. It was thickest across the south of England and Wales, thick enough even for some patches of drizzle lasting into the afternoon. And although on the face of it, the satellite picture, the cloud looks pretty much the same everywhere.
And a fairly settled week across much of the UK. However, a much different picture in the Mediterranean as the remnants of Storm Alice continues to cause disruption. I will have the latest on this and the forecast coming up later in the programme.
He's got his polo neck on. That must mean it's cold.
It's cold in here, I can tell you that.
It sure is, yeah.
Look, everything's looking pretty quiet as we head through the course of this week, Mary. You'll be glad to hear. However, that's not the case across all parts of Europe at the moment. Across the Mediterranean, it has been very unsettled over the last couple of weeks. These pictures are from Ibiza just yesterday. They've had torrential downpours, widespread flooding. In fact, over the last several days or so across parts of southern Spain and also Ibiza, they've had maybe several hundred millimetres of rain. And there's more to come as we head through. It's the remnants of Storm Alice, which will continue to barrel its way through the rest of the Mediterranean. Let's take a look at the sequence as we head through the next few days. And here it is at the moment. It drives its way eastwards. It's going to affect parts of Corsica and also on into perhaps Italy and then into Greece. And you can see it starts to swirl around. There's even talk that it could turn into a Medicane, similar to a hurricane. It's got a low shear at the centre, but the difference between the hurricane and the Medicane is that hurricanes have a warm centre, so warm air, whereas Medicanes have cold air, and they can produce a lot of rain, as we've already seen. There's a lot of rain with this system, and that will continue to be the case. Well, as we head through the course of this week, as I was just saying, very quiet conditions with that high pressure in control. However, at times, the cloud may be thick enough for a few spits and spots of rain, but we're talking about drizzle rather than any heavy downpours. Dizzy heights of maybe 17, 18 degrees in some sunny spells, but as I say, on the whole, the emphasis on a pretty cloudy week ahead, but at least it will be dry.
OK, we will take that, Alex. Thank you.